really nice Bali feeling, Bali background.
Yeah. But look, I tell you what, this place is pretty amazing. So I don't know if you can see there's two statues in the background there.
Yes.
They're going to have a Hindu festival in a couple of days
Oh,
time.
really?
So
Oh,
all
wow.
these magnificent kind of statues of different mythical creatures which have got something to do with tied in with the religion. So, and then that's the. So look, I don't know if you saw my message. I was asking if we could push it back for half an hour. What I can do, I can run along and get my laptop. And just find a comfy place to sit down. And then assuming that I've got enough charge, and then I can join you in about 5-10 minutes. Does that work for you?
Yes, that works. So cool. Yeah. So I mean, should we just set a time, say like half an hour later, or you want to just jump?
I don't mind. I mean, half an hour seems like a long time now. I didn't think we would.
Right, sure.
I can do 15 minutes.
Okay,
maybe.
sure.
Right.
Just jump back in. Okay, when you're ready.
All right.
Okay. All right.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Hi, you're back. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
In the room now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. I would have sat outside if I'd have had any charge on my laptop, but sadly no.
Oh, okay. Really appreciate it. I understand you're on vacation now, so I don't really want to cut through the. Okay.
It's all right. I haven't. It's interesting because we left our house on Tuesday last week.
Right.
And then we travelled, and we arrived at the first hotel on Friday morning, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
So we travelled Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3 days of travel. Up and I mean, if you count going past midnight, 4 days. But so and today we travelled for a little bit over an hour, and the taxi driver got lost, and I had to give him directions. He clearly couldn't read the signposts on the road, which were in English. So I don't know. He kept looking at his phone. He was looking at his phone like this, and then driving, and the car was going over here. It's like, anyway, it's mental here. Anyway, so that's.
All right. So any wins from all this traveling in the past few days? Any wins you like to share or learning?
So wins, definitely. It's a peak experience, and it's been wonderful to be with my wife and daughter. And we just, we had we spent a day actually. We just hired a taxi. The guy, basically, every time you get in a cab here, they go, "Oh, how long are you here for? Where are you going? What have you done? Oh, have you got a plan? I'll take you." And basically, they give you a list of places where they can take you. And they drive you around. And so we agreed to do that. We went to, where did we go to? Went to a coffee plantation, right? I don't know if you've heard of Luwak coffee or civet coffee.
Okay.
Basically, there's a wild cat called a civet.
Okay.
And it's a vegetarian,
right.
And it only eats fruits.
Okay.
And it eats the coffee bean when it's red.
Okay.
And when it digests, it eats the whole thing through, right?
Okay.
And so it digests the fruit of the coffee bean, but the bean itself stays in the stomach and then is pooed out, basically.
Right.
But the enzymes in the process of the effective flavor of the coffee, and it's the most expensive coffee in the world. Is that if you?
Yes.
I love coffee, right? As you probably know, right? And so we went to this plantation, and I'd never been to a coffee plantation, and I wasn't expecting it. And it was like, wow, okay, here we go. And not only that, it's like for civet coffee. So I bought some civet coffee. So I was really happy about that. And then we went to this valley of rice paddies, just all terraced like that. And when I was at university, I did my degree in agriculture and forestry.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. And so I did. I did a project on coffee. So going to a coffee plantation was really cool.
Okay.
And then the whole point about agroforestry is that you've got, in one parcel of land, you've got multiple forms of agriculture going on. So you might have, in a paddy field, you might have rice, ducks, fish, right? So obviously the duck and the fish are meat, but they also put nutrients back into the soil or into the water that then goes into the rice as well. So you've got 3 types of agriculture going on there. And then in these paddies, they've got different fruit trees, coconut trees, bananas, other herbs and stuff, local plants that they use. And it's just very, very engineered. And as we walked down the terrace, and then we walked back up at the other side, and there's a river in the middle, but it's at the bottom of the valley. This river is all just jungle, just terrible. But then on the terraces on the side, you've got this very, very engineered kind of environment that is just completely managed. And then of course you throw tourism on top of it, and you've got another form of income all off of this one piece of land. So it's just really, really interesting that I graduated in '96, and it's been almost 30 years, and I've not experienced anything to do with the degree that I've done, and yet on holiday now, 30 years later, I'm having these experiences. So it's really interesting, really, for that. And then obviously we're sharing time with each other, and there's a festival coming up, so that's going to be fun. We're going to do that tomorrow. So yeah, it's good. But work-wise, I've done nothing.
Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah, it's sort of yes and no. I mean, it's frustrating. I tell you what, though, Shinyan, on the way here,
right,
when we walked into this hotel, the taxi driver was such a bumpkin. He was taking photographs of the entrance of the hotel. He was more impressed with the hotel than I was. And he goes, "Oh, let's have a selfie." All right, I'm fine. And it was just really, clearly this is a really expensive place for him, right? And so like, it's the first time I've actually been a cash millionaire. Because it's like, what was it, 50, 60 pounds UK is $1 million Indonesian rupees. So it's just nonsense, really. But oh, sorry, my love. Wait, I'll see you later, honey. Have you got a key? Here, I'll just give my wife a key.
Okay, sure.
I'll come and find you. And coming back to us and why it's important to us is when I walked in, and the other hotel we stayed at was nice, right? There wasn't, but these guys have really suffered because of COVID. This island, its industry is tourism. And the people here are phenomenal. I mean, these are beautiful people who have a genuine kind of loving respect. And one of the guys today we met was saying, yeah, we respect other people, or respect God, and we respect nature. So a lot of Europeans might say that that's what they believe in, but they don't actually live it. And I believe, from the people I've met so far, I believe they live it. And so it's really interesting. And why is this interesting? So okay, it made me realize today, we traveled here business class, and that's only because I accrue enough vouchers because of work to be able to use them for that, right? And we're staying in a nice hotel, so the whole trip has cost us less than £2,000.
Okay.
And that is a lot of money, but it's actually not a lot of money for everything that we have
Sure.
in terms of what this hotel is like, and the kind of, it's meant to be like a 4 or 5 star hotel, probably 4, but anyway. And I want to be able to live in this kind of lifestyle without thinking, without worrying. Oh, I'll worry if there's enough money in the bank. I worry, I don't want to think about it. I just want to, it's a healthy deserve level, and also obviously be modest and respectful about it. So the only way I'm going to do that is by having greater success with the projects that I'm working on, of which JCF and Wealth, are a part of that, as is Space Mercenaries and Income Sec. So yeah, it's interesting how having the healthy deserve level of like that
motivates, right?
I've got a standard. Yeah, it's up here, right? My daughter, on the other hand, she's staying in nice enough places, but she's living very much. She's here on a almost like a grand safari of Southeast Asia, and she's trying to do it as cheaply as possible, which is great. If you're kind of like under 30, then that's kind of the sort of thing you do, right? And then also the other thing that I need to do is start getting in the work frame of mind to actually do some work and not spend all my time dicking about. Because if I can function and achieve things and work, even though I'm thousands of miles away and different time zones away, living a dream, then why not be a digital nomad?
Wow, that's impressive.
So anyway, that's kind of, so from the enjoyment of the holiday and the experience to practical application, I think that's anyway.
Wow, how that's impressive. That's great. How long will you be in Bali until?
We fly back on the 30th.
Okay.
And
30th.
Here's the thing. Yeah, so we fly back to Doha. And then in Doha, we've got a stay over. So we're going to spend 2 physical days, 1 night in Doha.
Okay.
And then we arrive back in London on the 1st of April.
Okay, I see. Okay.
So,
you know what? Okay, so I do have some quick feedback on this, but okay, maybe I'll share that first. Angela is flying Bali within like this Thursday.
Okay, fine. Yeah, that's cool.
And the other thing is, okay, I actually enjoyed hearing, okay, so I think what's impressive for me on this is that because of the trip, you have sort of elevated, I think, your perspective about what's possible, right? About what the kind of lifestyle that you would like to live. So you're actually living your future self now, in a sense, right? And right now it's probably like a trip, a special trip, but at some point it's going to be your regular life, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So I think looking from this perspective, that's very good. Okay, raising healthy, there's a HDL, but also living your future self. And the thing.
Just bear with me a second, Shinyan. Sorry. Right. Okay, understood. So we're there. Right. Okay. Fine. Fair enough. Right. Okay. Sorry, mate. My wife's just told me that we might get disturbed with room service for towels and stuff like that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
So if I get distracted, then but no, thank you. That's really interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing is, you remember I told you about this lady, a Malaysian Chinese lady, who has been doing bioenzyme. Have I shared?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Where my parents and we went to. They actually have, a local guy in Bali, and they're helping Bali people to clean up a lake, okay, with bioenzyme. So he's actually got a local partner in Bali, and I think Angela probably will be meeting that person sometime. and understand, like see how they're actually like changing the local, the ecosystem, the improving the environment with bioenzyme. So I don't know if that's something of interest to you, but if so, that could be like a tour to see how like bioenzyme.
Which lake are they at?
I'm not sure. I have no idea. Okay, at the point.
Right, okay.
But already this this lady, her name is, I think, well she's Dr. Wen. Okay, Dr. Wong, and I mean she's already, I think, connected with Angela. So yeah, if you're interested, I can just pass along the information. Yeah.
I mean that's the lake my daughter's at the moment. Obviously, you can see the lake in the background, but she's she's gone to a lake which is next to a volcano.
Yes, it's actually a volcano. A sleepy volcano.
So it's Mount Buratu or something like that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So with luck, you guys could be already in that place.
Okay. Oh no, we're not. We're somewhere else. We're about an hour away.
I see. I see. Okay.
Yeah, our daughter went separate. Basically, Shunyun, my daughter's planned this trip for months. And so she decided to go and do this on her own. It's part of her growing up sort of thing. Growing up. I mean, she's 27, right? Okay. And then my wife was so kind of like distraught that she's traveling on her own and all that. I said, well, we could go and visit her. So we ended up. My daughter flew, and then literally the next, the day after, my wife and I flew.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We stayed. We got her a room in the same hotel with us to start with, and we spent a few days together. And then my daughter went off and did her bit, and we went off and down to this place here, and she's going to join us in a few days' time. Okay. And we've just got a room for her now for the last 3 days of our trip, so we can be together.
Wow. Nice. That's great.
And so she's going to go on to Thailand after that.
Oh, okay.
And I think her father is going to meet up with her in Thailand. Oh, so she's not able to escape. She wants to go and be her own person, and she's got all of these parents running after her, checking on her.
I see. Anyway. Wow, great. All right.
Anyway,
so
okay.
Yeah. So that's just something, and I'll share some quick wins on my part. So the first is we had the mixer event, Planet Mixer in Taiwan. Okay, so basically that's something Angela kick off with the Stanford alumni community in Taiwan. About 10 people attended. It was a great exchange of people's concern, aspiration. Some investors came. I think AK, he's actually an American, Pakistan, I think Indian descent American, and he's managing a 60 million fund. Okay, and actually invested in a few blockchain projects companies in the past. And so, yeah. So
does he want to invest in another one?
Nice. I already sent him the JCF. I actually, I also mentioned that in our channels, our instant messaging channel. But right now, I think he's having a look. I think it would be nice to he's very, I think, sophisticated in terms of how, they have like a whole systematic process of deciding like what companies to invest, and very automatic. They have a sort of a hands-off approach. So I think it's just, nice to meet and know, and also, be in the circle with these people.
Yeah.
So that's, and I think there's the consensus of holding a monthly mastermind afterwards. So that's also in the process. Okay, so that has been a great event, and likely I think this is going to allow me to get exposed to a wider circle. Already, there's an incubator lady, and also like a couple of investors that's I'm connected now because of the event. So that's one. The second win has been, my kids were back home for this weekend. So I actually played basketball with my son for I'm not sure, the first time, like after he got interested. I think that's the first time. And basically was teaching him the principles of deliberate practice. Okay, so the idea is to get good at some skill by, literally repeating and repeating, but, learning from each time your mistake, getting feedback. So I think the one thing I learned from that is, because I also restarted funnel marketing learning from Russell Brunson recorded course, I do see that there is this thing about deliberate practice. Okay, that is how you are getting better and better at the skill of the craft, from simply knowing to doing to mastery level. And so the value of repetition cannot be underemphasized. It's just how things work. And I found that interesting. Okay, and basically ask myself the question: what am I doing deliberate practice on? Right. For example, like asking the Dan Sullivan question. That could be one. Okay. And thinking deeper about the implications. So I have also noticed a change in my work style or mentality lately, that I am taking a slower pace, but trying to have a deeper thinking, understanding of things that's going on. So for
slower paced. How can you? You're more tortoise than a tortoise, and deeper thinking. Oh my goodness! You think a lot anyway. I mean, you need a look. We are like the hare and the what's it? The hare and the tortoise. You and I sometimes for different things, right? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm like the hare, and I go bouncing off, and then you kind of, then I'll have a rest, and you kind of catch up, and you win the race. And then sometimes it's the other way around, and I'm like, I'm almost like pushing you along, sort of thing. So it's kind of funny, really. So
yeah. But for example, this is something related to JCF, is that I came to realize that there are different funding mechanisms that exist. Okay, so if you think about, I'll give you some example: banks, right, and VCs, crowdfunding, okay, and insurance. Okay, so these are existing instruments where money has been gathered. And I think, although they are different, different ways approach, they do kind of serve different needs, but essentially it's the same overall process. You pull together some money from people, which, is resources, is energy. You try to put it into good use, right, to generate more, right, or to have an economic effect. But essentially what bank does is it provides guaranteed return, right? So it's debt. VCs or venture, what they do is it's a share. Okay, so you get shares in return. Crowdfunding, you get product in return. Okay, you are crowdfunding for at least like Kickstarter. That's what you get, product or service, right? That's promised to be delivered, right? And then insurance, you do get some guarantee of a certain kind. But essentially, I'm seeing that they all have the same overall mechanism behind. And so this actually provides an interesting point of view, which is for a long time, I feel that the financial industry is really like slow and, inefficient, ineffective. So if you are really thinking about, and we know that there has been disruptors, to different industries, right? Amazon to retail to books, and like Netflix to I guess to media to broadcasting. And Elon Musk to to electric cars, to the car industry. I think there is this idea of what Elon calls the first principle, right, behind. I think you're probably familiar with the term. So you start to think about what's the principle behind everything, and you kind of sort of redesign, restart from scratch. Like, what should it look like? How would it actually function if you started over, right, with the proper understanding? So I'm taking this perspective and really seeing that all these financial institutions, they are all pretty much different variations of something really basic, a basic idea of pulling together resource capital, to do some good or to do some more productive things with the money. So now that means there's actually a space where if you can actually design from the ground up, like how should everything actually properly work and work together, you might just design a system, okay, that can take people's money, okay, or resources, and then just deploy it, using some mechanism to, to calculate the risk or whatever, to make it into good use, right? And then, return people with either, fixed interest, dividends, which is what shares is about, product or services, or, some kind of guarantees, which is what insurance is about. And, so if you're thinking this, then I guess this is not just generating wealth for all. It's actually about creating financial freedom for all. Okay. Okay. So basically, I guess what I like to share is a bit of thinking this past week, and actually have sort of allowed me to see the greater benefits of the wealth platform and what we might just be able to do with the platform. Okay.
I think the platform, the wealth platform, really has an exceptional growth potential.
Okay, right.
I genuinely see that. I still come back to we've got to, we're educating the market now. Sorry, Shunyun, there's a couple of things I want to talk to this point.
All right, go ahead. Yeah.
And I don't want to jump in if there's more for you to say. I can wait.
Oh, okay. No, that's pretty much all. The other thing is just I started reading Tony Robbins, Money the Game. Okay, and one thing I learned, he interviewed including Ray Dalio, a bunch of people in the financial space. First chapter, power of compounding. Okay, what I realized is that JCF's dividend mechanism is an automatically saving compounding mechanism for the participants. So, dollar cost average is working well, in stock market, but JCF's regular dividend payments, that actually serve as a dollar cost average mechanism in and of itself, you see, because it's what happens is it's getting the profit. It's actually forcing the participant to adopt a certain behavior that actually encourages regular investment and saving. Okay, I mean, I think we kind of know that, but it's just that, after thinking about compounding, I am gaining a better appreciation and understanding of the JCF mechanism. Okay. This is really fun stuff. It's simple, but it's actually, if executed, it's actually the most effective mechanism that, we have known, index and dollar cost average. I think these are the reliable, long-term wealth creation tools that humanity has found so far. Yeah. So if we're actually putting these two things and combine, and onto a generalized platform such as wealth, right? I think there is tremendous power behind that. So simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. I think that's
absolutely. Absolutely. I think so. The feedback on that then, I think, is look, the simplicity then is our messaging. So, like I say, I come back to make main the only topic to talk about.
Okay.
Because if we talk about wealth, it will confuse people.
Okay. So all right.
When main is kind of becoming a dynamo in its growth, then we can start saying, right, and we can start bringing into the whole kind of dialogue. Well, actually, main is a portion of wealth. It's part of the wealth framework, and it allows us to then do so. And it might be so. For instance, if we've got main generating enough of a wealth growth, I was going to say that it's conceivable that any company or entity that wants to utilize wealth could actually get resource from Main, right? So if Main has got a fund that's growing like this, and it's a part of wealth, and so let's use Space Mercenaries, just for argument's sake, comes along and they want to start, then it could take some seed funding from Main, right?
Right.
I'm not suggesting we should do that. I'm just theorizing. However, I then thought, well, wasn't that the problem that guy with what XTF or whatever it is, that he didn't separate? But the difference is, wealth and Main are not exchanges, right? They're actually investment instruments. So I'm just kind of thinking through here, but anyway.
Okay.
Part of that. Forget, that's a rabbit hole.
All right. All right. Okay.
But it's an idea. But I think so. Simplicity, right? So Main, I genuinely, and that's why I posted that question on the channel. That the wealth for the white paper still is talking about wealth. I think we need to.
Yeah. Actually, I think. I think the current version is already stripped of wealth. It's actually 5 pages. I don't know if that's the section about wealth is being stripped from the current white paper version, I think.
Okay, and when I checked, I thought I saw it talking about wealth.
You still see it? Okay, let me just share my screen. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I think there may be a brief mentioning that, okay, let me just share my screen just to double check on this. Hold on a sec. This is, I think, the current version, which I just downloaded actually off the official website. So this is only 6 pages, right? And I think it talks about, right? So the first is disclaimer. You can see the screen?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Second page is intro, which is just 1 page. Yeah. Nice. Third page is JCF. Okay. And dividend plan, you know, the third and the fourth, I guess. And the fifth is on rebalancing, which is a bit more technical. And the sixth is just, you know, summary references.
Wow. Okay, that's weird. Maybe my browser took me to an
maybe
old.
It's cache. Maybe it's the cache version.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. All right. My bad.
Just bring up your cache. It should be this year January 24th. Okay. It was yeah. I mean
right.
This version is January 24th. 110. Yeah.
My
okay.
bad.
So just,
my bad. Sorry.
Okay. No worries. And because I think already, you know, right now, the blog post on wealth, I think, explains sufficiently, you know. So if we want to like refer someone into wealth, just the blog post, you know, there's the blog post, there's FAQ, and for JCF Main, just the white paper. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing I wanted to say was, I really don't read the news. I don't watch the news. And yeah, so, but whilst I was waiting for something this afternoon, I just flicked open, because I've turned the notifications off on my mobile.
Okay.
If I want to look at something, I actually have to go into the application, open it up and see if there's a new message.
Okay.
I don't get messages pinging up on my phone all the time.
Right.
And that's,
I don't indeed either. Yeah.
It's quite beautiful, actually, being able to be detached like that. Anyway, so I actually saw on notifications there was a thing about Credit Suisse.
Okay.
And I thought, what's going on there? Credit Suisse has gone bankrupt. It's been bailed out by UBS.
Yeah,
and the central banks of Europe are helping bail it out as well, which is really odd. Right? What's the Bank of England got to do with bailing out Credit Suisse? Why? Now, if anybody says to me, crypto is unstable, really? As opposed to who? Credit Suisse, Lehman Brothers, financially financial institutions which are in a regulated economy,
right.
and you're telling me that crypto's unstable. Yeah, talk to the shareholders of Credit Suisse, why don't you? Like a Swiss banking behemoth.
Right. Yeah, I think it's the 8th largest bank in the world, something like that. Yeah.
It was, yes. Not anymore.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just think that my whole point, I mean, it was because what stimulated that thought was, okay, I read it in the afternoon, but you were talking about disruption. And you know, my crypto kind of portfolio is so tiny, but it's gone up by $1,000 in the last sort of like few weeks, which is great. But I mean, you know, it's anyway. So it did remind me actually that the longer I put off investing in JCF, the longer it's. I'm hoping that. Oh gosh, I did. Oh, by the way, okay. So that's that. I've finished the observations there. If that's okay, we can move on to something. But I have got an operational comment to make about JCF and income second payment and stuff. If you want to hear that.
Okay.
If you want to. I wanted to transfer the money to your account using TransferWise or Wise, it's now called, right? Apparently, it doesn't have the facility to transfer into Taiwanese dollars or whatever you want. So either I do it via the same account I did last time, or if there's another account. I don't know if you have a dollar trading account, a US dollar trading account, or.
Okay, so I think the JCF Co has both a Taiwanese dollar NTD, also USD accounts. They're like separate. But yeah,
okay.
I mean, the one you were using, was it the NTD, the Taiwanese one? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we can just maybe give you the USD account.
If you could give me the USD account, I'll set that up while I'm here, and I'll make that payment while I'm here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks.
Because I meant to do it last week.
Right. Okay.
But I wasn't able to do that because. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I did actually try and do it.
All right.
Like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay. All right. So I guess anything else you'd like to discuss? I mean, on your end.
Operationally, no. I think we need to nail a free hag.
Okay. Yes.
I feel I think when I say nail it, for me that means you and I just have to agree. I've been through it all now to the end, and I feel like I finished it. But that's just my version of it. I think you and I need to agree that, as we have done so far, okay, this is what this means, and cross-reference and consult about it, and then and like, look, we've been on the call now for like 40 minutes, something like that.
Right.
You know, 35 minutes. I think we've made, given that we spend probably about the same amount of time, we're doing like 35 to 40 minutes a week on this.
Right.
So the fact that it's taking us a few weeks, it's kind of like, it is slow, but at the same token, you know, if we were both sat in an office next to each other and with a whiteboard and some post-its and doing the way that it says to do it, I think we probably would grit it out within a matter of hours in one setting. I think the challenge that we have is that we're very, each time we meet, we kind of do a hello and how are you kind of thing. You know, and it's like, what are our wins? Because it's been a week since we've seen each other, or a few days. So I'm just trying to say, I think we are actually muscling through this, and I'm quite happy about it. Yeah, so that's it. I just think, I just genuinely think that if we were sat next to each other, then it probably would have, you know, we would have seen it done completed a lot quicker. But that's just an observation, not nothing.
Okay. All right. Okay. yeah. So I guess we can definitely go over, but there's something I'd like to maybe discuss about the secret sauce. Okay, because you mentioned about that's concern,
Yeah.
right? About perhaps not sharing detail or at least publicly. This is something. I guess it's one of my. Okay, okay. I think I'll just share my current thoughts. Okay, and then
Sure.
I think maybe we can discuss about should we put something regarding something we can share or not share. Like what's the boundary, what's the line.
No, that's fine. But what you've put as being the secret sauce, I don't think is the secret sauce. I don't think that's what secret sauce is. You've just told us what your vision is. That's it. Okay. And that's something that that's the direction we're heading in. We tell everybody that everybody sits there and goes, "Wow, really?"
Right. Okay. Yeah.
And we go, "Yeah, it's big. Get with it. Join us. Come on. Stop messing about." And that's fine. Isn't it? The secret sauce is what we're finding out through this process that we've done or are doing, right, in the free hag, that is individual to us. So this is the combination of traditional finance matters, compounding, dollar weight averaging, with cryptocurrencies, with our UBI kind of, not methodology, but kind of
orientation.
Orientation. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then there's going to be something in the analysis that we bring out from the market map that's going to go right. That's where we're working on, and that's going to set us aside, and that is our secret sauce. And I don't think we're quite
there yet, right? Because
because we haven't
learning from doing, right?
Yeah. So, so I think. Sorry, I just dropped something. I genuinely think that it's there. I mean, it's kind of like it's not quite a sauce yet. It's a bit more of a kind of some boiled vegetables.
That's a good way to put it. Right.
We've got to add some more flavor and a bit more flour and
okay. So
get some spice in there.
Right. I guess the direction I want to sort of take is if there's concern about revealing the secret sauce, then I guess logically what we want to do is to keep the discussion separate, right? Like we could have a Monday discussion on things that we don't concern or worry about whether people learn it. In fact, we want people to learn more about our Monday discussion as much as possible, right? As whether marketing or publicity or just brand building, whatever. And on the other hand, maybe we will have a discussions later in the week, right? So that's more like that could relate it to the secret sauce part, right? Which is not revealed, right? So I do feel that maybe it will make sense for us to separate those dialogues, into different types, just systematically. And in fact, I think the second meeting of the week it was intended to be like a team meeting, whereas this one is more like a co-founder chat, right? So maybe that's a good way to distinguish, right? Once we're also having other team members. So on this topic, actually, I think one thing I was thinking about is to change our Tuesday sync to Thursday. I don't know if that will work for you. Okay, I mean same time, but on Thursday. So it's kind of like we have a few days leave, in between that we can also think. But I don't know how that will work. But the idea will be to keep those two separate. Okay, so this is one thought. And the other thing I've been thinking about is actually, there's another orientation to the secret sauce, which is, I don't know if you've heard of this, but what mastery truly is that even if the master shows you his or her motions, like in slow motion mode, you still cannot copy it.
Mm.
Okay. I don't know if you have encountered this concept, but like a while ago, I learned this. I found it fascinating, and it's true, right? Like, for example, even if you go to study at McDonald's, right? You go to one of their branch and you learn all how they are training from the lowest level to the store manager or whatever, right? All the way. You learn everything about their SOP, their know-how of McDonald's. You still cannot create another McDonald's, right? Based off your knowledge, because their quote unquote secret sauce is hidden, is already built within their infrastructure, within their philosophy, within their, just everything that's composed. It's not, you just cannot just know and copy. Okay, it's not similar, like how Southwest Airline, right? Their low cost approach, right? Another company, I think it was another American airline tried to copy it, but ended up
American Airlines.
American, like getting up, the CEO ended up being fired, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah. So I guess that's just my take. I think once your secret is obviously, there are some obvious secret like your Coca-Cola's formula, right? That things like that. But I do feel that if it's, and this is the reason why I mentioned, like getting 1 billion people by 2040 is kind of our secret sauce. It's our vision for sure, but it's also because we have that vision and that kind of duration. I think it provides us with a very different perspective and approach to things. Like if you're a company.
Yeah, but you see, here's the thing. I do disagree in that.
Okay.
That if you say that it's your vision, which I agree that it is, right? That's a waypoint that we are on the road to,
right?
And it's a waypoint that people today can understand.
Right.
If you were to then say to them, look, when I said in that meeting with Greg and Matt about the removal of money, it was like they just didn't get it.
Okay.
Because it's too far ahead for them.
Right,
and I don't mean that in a rude way.
Right.
I just mean that you and I have had that conversation, and we both realized, yes, that is a possibility. That is a place to be. But for so many people, they're not going to understand that. Right? But it's an inevitability for the future, but there's no point saying it. So the 1 billion people is a waypoint. And you're saying financial freedom. Financial freedom for me means something slightly different, but it's I get where you're coming from in the direction, and I understand that. Yes, I can see that that's actually aligned with that kind of that progression. Even though 1 billion people is a waypoint here, somewhere in the future, maybe financial freedom is an additional waypoint, and it's a future iteration of that. And so I think there's a linear progression there that works. Now, coming back to the secret sauce. So I don't know, in the UK back in the 1980s, I think, when McDonald's was trying to was doing a lot of advertising, it had this advert, right? And it said that if you could repeat the advert in exactly the same time frame as the advert, you would be given like a McDonald's cheeseburger. Right? You would win it. So all these kids kind of tried to learn the thing, and the ones that got it right got the hamburger right. Well, that was fine, because then they still bought fries and they still bought chips and or milkshake and Coke or whatever, and so they still made money out of it, right? But one of the words within this, it was like 2 all beef patties, something bread, lettuce, and special sauce, right? It's like, and it's the special sauce, right? Is the or the secret sauce is that stuff that you don't tell anybody what's in there, but it's there, and it's one of the things that goes on top of the burger or in between the bun or whatever. That when you bite into it, you go, what is that? Yeah, it's salt and sugar. That's what it is, right? And a bunch of other really bad chemicals for you.
Right,
but the point I'm trying to make is that it's kind of like your secret sauce in my mind is not the waypoint, but it's the detail of how we've woven together.
Okay.
UBI, traditional banking, compounding, crypto, how we've brought these together in unity. And that's, we'll have mastery in that we're able to do that, because when people work out, so their secret sauce, I get it now. It is this ability to do UBI, compounding, crypto, and traditional finance. Oh, I get it. Right, that's what it does. Okay, well, we'll do that. Well, they won't, because they're already UBS. They're already the Bank of England or whoever they are, right? And they're American Airlines.
Right.
We're Southeastern because we've made everything to be in unity for this one purpose of getting us to this waypoint. And so even though you might understand the component parts of it, mastery is, and when I hear about mastery, I think of a Kung Fu master. Right? So the Kung Fu master might be this like long bearded little man who's ancient, right? But he can still kick your butt, even though you think you know everything because you're a black belt. No, he knows exactly how little effort it takes just by doing that, as opposed to that. Right? He's got more power in that than I have in that, and he's using less effort. And the fact that he's using less effort means there's less energy. He can sustain his movements longer, and he can stay in the fight longer because he's really economic with everything that he does, right? And that's the mastery, despite the fact that we both know that that's a block, right?
Right.
And notice how I'm using a defensive technique as opposed to
that's a great analogy, actually, you just provided. Yeah, I think that's the place we want to be. At certain things. A lot less energy, a lot more integrity, unity of the things that we're doing, right? And when that becomes,
I mean it's a good word. Unity. I mean, again, it shows how much my life has been dominated by my religious upbringing, because there's a concept in the Baha'i faith of unity and diversity. So it's like, the analogy might be the flowers of one garden. Now, traditionally, the Baha'is talk about it from the point of view of races. It doesn't matter if you're brown, yellow, pink, whatever, right? There are many flowers in a garden, and it's the diversity of these flowers which make it beautiful. And when the gardener makes a beautiful garden, it's got harmony between color and smell and transition through the seasons that only comes through when the flowers work together, right? And so unity and diversity, and that unity of the diversity of what we're doing, and we bring it together in unity. Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole there. But
Okay, all right. But coming back, I guess, so what is your feedback with what we have discussed so far? I mean,
I think so. So practically, obviously, daytime is better for me than nighttime. I'm only going to be here on your time zone now for literally a couple of weeks.
Right.
And on holiday, I really don't cherish the idea of getting up at 5 o'clock.
Okay. No. I'm not talking about Thursday. I'm talking about Thursday at this hour.
Oh.
Yeah. So that would be like 8 in UK time. On Thursday.
Then that's perfectly fine with me. I'm quite happy doing 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, it's good because it's part of my morning structure. I'm more functional and better. I function better at that time.
Okay. All right.
So I like getting up at 5 o'clock.
With your schedule?
Yeah. Well, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Let me just check before I commit, just to make sure. But Thursdays, what have I got working on my kind of standard thing? Morning routine and frogs. Yeah, it's amply good. Yeah, if we move Tuesday to Thursday, then I'm
Okay.
happy with that completely.
All right. Okay. When would you like that to happen? Should we do that this week? I mean, or you preferred after you get back? Just curious. It's
Yeah, no, okay, fine. If we want to do something, I mean, I said to Olga that we would be doing something tomorrow. So if we're not doing something tomorrow and we're doing it on Thursday. Oh, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong. Am I on the right? Oh, we have the 20th today, right? No, I thought I was on a different page. So yeah, we bumped that to Thursday. The only problem with this week is that means I'll have a meeting every day.
oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'd rather not. I've got a meeting tomorrow
Okay.
at
So,
1 o'clock.
okay. So what will work? Yeah, just let me know like what will work. Yeah.
I'm a bit confused now. I'm looking at two different calendars. Let me look at this calendar, because the calendar on my laptop is on UK time, and then the one on my phone
Okay.
is in local
All
time.
right. Mike, I think an easier way is stick to this during your vacation, and you can think whether you like to move, whether we can do this after you get back. If you like to do it earlier, just let me know. Okay.
Yeah, okay. All right, let's do that. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Good. So, okay. So regarding, do you want to check on our 3-hack document? I did make some change to it.
Okay. Yeah. Let's
Okay.
kick it off for a bit.
Okay. All right. Let me share my screen. Okay. So, okay. So this is I think, okay. So what I have done, I think it's okay, let me just go to the 3-hack, the spreadsheet.
Are you booked in for coming to London for Dan Sullivan?
Oh, okay. Okay, so this is after, well, it's uncertain yet. That's all I can say.
Okay.
It's going to be depend on certain things I don't yet have clarity on. But
Okay.
definitely it's something I like to see happen.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So
yay, done it.
Yeah, so yeah, it's done. And what I discover is this is quite, I think it's a bit different from your graph, okay, or your
And
okay. So all right. So I think maybe some key things.
Have you done a picture of it?
No. It's so should I just like copy your picture and then use a different, I guess, data source?
I personally, I would put the mouse on a tab on a field.
Okay.
To the right of the current chart.
Okay. On the right of the current chart. Oh, okay. Oh.
Yeah. So in the document on the spreadsheet, just pick one of the cells on the right of the current chart.
Oh, okay. And then.
Right, and then yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Go on, click there, and then go and create a table.
Oh, create a table.
Yeah, or a chart or whatever it is. Insert chart or whatever it is.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Doesn't help that it's all in Chinese. I can't read Chinese.
Okay.
Is it insert chart? Maybe.
I think this is insert. Yes, this is insert chart. I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, it looks like a chart, doesn't it? And then you've got to do the range. Is it on our?
Oh, okay.
So where's the range?
Okay. How about I'll just, I guess, maybe copy your chart and then change the data source. What do you
Go on
think?
then. Go on then.
Yeah, I think that might be easier. So, I mean, just, like completely, the same chart, right?
Yeah.
And all I have to do, because I think it actually maps. I mean, the only difference between my data and yours is just the
Mine's accurate.
your ads, right? You start from 12, right? I start from 2. So
yeah,
all the numbers are like 10 less. I think that's so.
You're 2 till 9. You'll be 1 till 9, won't you? Anyway, cool.
Yeah, because
so
I have to
P. You're going from H1 to P9. H1
okay.
P9. That's your range.
Okay, I see. H1 to P9. Okay, all right. So maybe just replace the range. That will be fine.
Yeah. You do that. Well, you can go if there's 3 dots up on the right hand corner of the chart itself.
Oh, okay, all right. I can tell I'm not that familiar with.
There we go. That's it. Go for it.
Okay, I see. Edit. Oh.
There we go. There we go. So there we go. Get rid of it. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Right. So I can just save. I think.
No, it should. If you click away from the chart, it should do it now.
Oh, really? Oh, done. Okay. All right. So maybe we should have a comparison. How do I do this?
That's interesting.
Make it smaller. Okay. Now we can see both, right?
Wow.
Wow, it's different, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, all right. So I guess maybe to first, so what's the difference? Just off the, I guess, the overview.
Well, like I said earlier, Shunyun, the difference is mine is correct and yours isn't. I mean, that's the obvious thing.
That's a great answer.
Well, okay. So seriously, though, I'll stop being silly. But what I find interesting, what I find interesting here
right, go ahead.
is that your assessment leaves no white space available.
Okay.
Whereas my assessment did. Now, I don't. That doesn't mean that it's either is right or wrong. It's just that's an observation.
Right. I see. Good.
And clearly, I mean, I could see the numbers. You'd marked JCF as being less able than I did for doing certain things, which is cool as well.
Right.
But if we're now, and this is where I wonder whether or not there's a benefit of having the two kind of functions. So if you were to just compare us to any charity, there would be massive white space in the charity bit where so for instance because you give when you gift when you give to charity, and that's it, it's gone. Right. And so you don't get your money back, whereas we're giving you the money back. Right. And then the fact that we've got the crypto stuff and then the investment stuff, and I wonder whether or not there's that dialogue of, well, we joined everything together on one chart, but actually we're working in 3 different sectors. Right. And I wonder whether or not there's a value in having. Now, obviously, what we don't want to do is we don't want to keep complicating the bloody thing and spending too much time on it. But
Mhm.
even if we were to agree the numbers, you see, so that's why I think that was my bias, was the fact that I knew I had to blend 3 different environments together.
Mhm. Okay.
But I don't know.
Okay, good. I guess my take from this, well, first off is I do see similarities here in the social impact space where most rated low. Okay, it's just how low we rate each. I mean, I'm rating them on 1, you're rating on 0, but pretty much social impact is low in general, for most.
Yeah.
So I think that is still white space, social impact, accountability, that is kind of a white space there. What's that? Yeah, the other part is more, as like you said, it's more, I think my rating or my view on this is more basically different players, different instruments got different strength, right? Kind of like that's my current view. And the thing about JCF being lower, I was filling out a number in my mind regarding its current state, not what it potentially can be. Okay, so obviously I think we can definitely excel in some of the areas, even though, right? So for example, like in the, I guess in the ROI. Okay, yeah. So right, I think some. Okay, so all right. So I think probably this will take maybe some time to digest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking whether there's a better way for us to, like see and reconcile the differences, and what does it mean? Okay.
Yeah.
So for example,
Is there any reason? Is there any value in us splitting it out and having it one for traditional finance, one for crypto, one for charity, and looking at it that way, or not?
Okay. Well, my first thinking, just gut reaction is that I think there is value in terms of understanding things deeper, but here I am seeing things from the perspective of what does our clients, or our ideal clients would like to see or like to think, or right. From the client's perspective, it's tools, right? That solves a particular problems or fits to a particular purpose. So frankly, I don't think I care all that much about what's like behind or underneath. Right? It's really about the benefit to myself. So in that sense, I think putting them to compare together makes sense. For example, like comparing a stock index fund, Vanguard, with, let's say, what we're offering, right? Because I think to the potential clients, they are probably comparing us versus some of the other existing instruments that they're currently using. So it's not, I don't think it really matters, particularly if the audience we want is, yeah, I think it does depend on the audience, right? If we're talking about a sophisticated crypto aware audience, then there's probably not even any need to compare with traditional banks or instruments, right?
Yeah, but we're not, though, are we?
No,
That's
we're not. Exactly.
That's not what our.
That's not what we are. Yeah. So I think comparing them together makes sense in that regard.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess the whole comparison is not about the trades per se, because all these qualities, let's say safety, okay, I think it means very different things in the eyes of different people, right? And like someone who really trusts traditional banking will think that cryptos are unsafe, and vice versa, right? I mean, like for us, we could see the traditional financial institution as less trustworthy. But so I think the question really is who you are talking to and who do we want to like get on board, right? Like who do we want to serve? Who do we want to be the hero to? I think that's the kind of the audience we want to narrow down, and then and then think from their perspective. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I think the next thing I did was the swim lane. Okay, and I think like to quickly let you also know what I've done. So okay. So basically just 3 annual goals from this year to 2025. But I actually did poll 5.
Hold on a second, Shinyan.
Yeah.
Shinyan, can we break in 5 minutes? Just take it to the half hour.
Okay, but I'm actually thinking maybe we can just call it, I think that's also fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, yeah. So maybe just let me know what will be the next time. Maybe we can chat.
Well, we're saying, you said tomorrow at the same time.
Yeah, okay, yeah. That's still doable. Yeah, okay.
All right, let's do that then.
Okay. All right. So
and we'll just dive straight into swim lanes tomorrow then.
Right, sure. And you can have a look if you like. I mean, it's basically the first difference is I have different categories from the ones you picked.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. No, that's fine. That's fine. No, okay, that's interesting. All right, buddy. Nice fun.
Okay. All right. Really appreciate it. Okay. So probably. All right. Take care and enjoy your evening. Okay.
Cheers. Bye.